Alrighty, fellow travelers, welcome back to the Adventures of a Traveling Don. My name is Benjamin O, and today I am going to be doing the finale of the Coastal Maine series that I've been doing throughout this whole summer. Thank you for those that have been joining me on that. It has been a lot of fun, but today we are headed towards the most eastern point in Maine and in the United States, which is the town of Lubec, the Quoddy Lighthouse, and of course, we actually, if we can, we're going to cross over to Campobello Island, which is technically in Canada. But I'm going to show you all that, but I wanted to start here at the beautiful Fox Pond. This is along Route 182. If you're heading up the east coast, like along the 1, branch off to the 182. It's a beautiful scenic drive, particularly around this time of the year when the fall foliage is just at its peak and perfection. But anyway, this is the gorgeous Fox Pond. Now, let's go ahead and get to the most eastern point here in the U.S. Okay, so our first major stop on this tour is going to be West Quoddy Lighthouse, and West Quoddy Lighthouse is the most eastern point in Maine, and not just Maine, also the United States. Here along the Atlantic border of Canada, you have the island of Grand Manan and also the island of Campobello as well. Those are both part of the New Brunswick province of Canada, so basically you can see Canada from right here. And if you look at just the way that the lines go when it comes to the maps and the Earth, this is the most eastern point of the United States. It's actually really kind of cool. I've been up here a few times over the years, and I just love coming out here. Quoddy State Park is connected to the lighthouse, and of course you can I think there's about 2.5, maybe 3 miles worth of trails total, and it's absolutely beautiful, particularly during this time, during the fall time. And the lighthouse also, it is a working station, and it does have a visitor center. It is closed right now when I'm here, but it is open, I think, from about mid-June to all the way until like the beginning of October. And I know that they do tours to head up to the lighthouse to actually get a view from up there. I've been on that once before. That's really cool, but you got to do it between, I think, like July through August. I think through after Labor Day or something like that is when they stop those tours. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and check out the state park, walk around a little bit, show you guys some of the coastline here, and then we're gonna head into Lubec. So enjoy, guys. Just remember, when you're checking out the bluffs here around Quoddy State Park, it is a high bluff and it is soft ground, so just be careful because it's a long way down. All right, so I am here in the town of Lubec, and like I said earlier, this is the most eastern part of the United States. Literally, you go across that bridge behind me, and that is Campobello Island. That is New Brunswick that we are looking at, the Mulholland Lighthouse and all that stuff. That is all part of Canada. Even if you look across the bay here, you have our side here is Eastport, here, but then you have those islands in the back. That's all like Chocolate Cove and the islands that are Fairhaven and whatnot. Those are all part of New Brunswick. So this strait really is literally a international border line that runs all the way down. So, but it's a quaint, cute little town. It is pretty much a dead zone right now, just because there's nobody here. this late in the season. This is like the Bar Harbor season ends around the end of October. Really, Lubec ends around the end of September, and I'm here middle of October. However, I did want to go and show you guys Campobello. That's the main point of this whole thing. But if you do come here, come and stay at the Cohill Inn. They have a great Irish pub underneath. It's really fantastic. I've been there a couple of different times. But unfortunately, like I said, I wasn't able to get up here until late in my season in Bar Harbor, which of course means the end of the season here in Lubec. But even still, it's a quaint little spot. Got great memorials to their fishermen, of course, as being a big fisherman's port in this area. But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and head over to Campobello, since there's really not much to do here in Lubec as of right now. But they do, when you're here during the season, Cohill Inn, they got a bunch of like sea glass artistry shops, and then of course you also have the brewery here as well, which is fantastic. Okay, so it does look like there was one spot here in Lubec that was still open for tourists and of course locals as well, and that is the Love at First Light ice cream and gift shop. And I totally forgotten that this place was here. I think I remember being here once before, but that was my first trip up here in 2017. But they have Gifford's ice cream, which is some of the best in Maine, very well known. And of course, it's the end of the season, so they're down to like the last 2 or 3, but I was able to get some chocolate, and of course, being the end of the season, they're trying to get rid of it. So my small basically turned into a large of a chocolate ice cream right there. I mean, holy crap, this right here was $3.25. This amount, that's like 2 full big scoops. And it's a cute little gift shop, so they have quite a lot of stuff in there. Let me give this ice cream a try. Oh yeah. I love Giffords. That's good stuff. But yeah, the gift shop's really nice. I even bought this raspberry lavender vanilla handmade soap as a souvenir from my mama when I get home to Texas. But yeah, it's just a little off to the side of the road, little small, kind of like almost, yeah, like little tiny place. But it's yeah, if you ever come here, definitely check out Love at First Light and get some ice cream and get a quick souvenir as well. And just like that, we're in Canada. And the first point that you want to when you come across the bridge over here is this lighthouse behind me. This is Mulholland Point Lighthouse. Basically is the main lights of this whole strait right here, and it is on the Canadian side. You can see the town of Lubec right behind me. Little nice skyline of the town. You realize that Lubec is actually rather hilly. But anyway, Mulholland Point Lighthouse was erected in the 1880s and officially became part of Roosevelt International Park, which is what pretty much encompasses most of this island in 1984. And Roosevelt International Park is, of course, known for our own President Theodore Roosevelt. He was very, very much in love with this area and very much on this island, and they named the International Park after one of our former presidents. But anyway, yeah, Mulholland Point Lighthouse is #1 here in Canada. Okay, so the next stop here in Campobello Roosevelt International Park is here at the Roosevelt House. And I have to correct a misnomer. I said the wrong Roosevelt when we were at Mulholland. I believe there is still a connection to Teddy through the family, but this house was gifted to Franklin D. Roosevelt, who was our 32nd president, and of course his wife Eleanor, I think back in 1908 upon their marriage. So this house is connected to FDR and that portion of the Roosevelt family. I know that I think they were like cousins to an extent, but yeah, this park and this house is connected more to FDR instead of Teddy. So fix myself on that one. But anyway, it's a gorgeous house. They do tours during the main part of the season, and it's just gorgeous grounds. There's acres and acres of grounds where you can just walk trails, and it's just absolutely fantastic. point out to you guys is the Head Harbor Lighthouse. Now, this is technically not part of Roosevelt International Park. It is on the very northeast tip of Campobello Island, but it's well worth the trip to come out here, particularly if you can time it right for low tide. As right now, we're pretty close to about an hour just outside of high tide, so I cannot actually get out to that island, but during low tide, almost like the Sandbar and Bar Island in Bar Harbor, if you've ever seen my videos for that, that is open. That part of the ocean right there is open to crossing and going up those ladders to the lighthouse or to the light station over there during low tide. You've got roughly about 2.5, 3-ish hours to kind of like get over and back before the tides start coming back in. And I will say this, there are warning signs for that because the tide rises almost about 5 feet per hour. So if you're out there, you're obviously stranded for about 8 to 9 hours. But anyway, yeah, it is a really cool spot. I do highly recommend, even if you're not here in time for low tide, it gives you this broad sweeping view of the Atlantic Ocean. And occasionally you will see, like this is a point where you get a lot of whales that will pass by during their kind of like travel seasons, which I think is like September, and then also like in the spring or something like that, going north and south. But yeah, the Head Harbor Lighthouse is a must to do on Campobello. By the way, if you are here at the Head Harbor Lighthouse when it is high tide, but you want like an unimpeded shot of the actual lighthouse, come back to the parking lot and just kind of like off to your right as you're kind of like looking towards the parking lot. There's just this little trail, and you get the lighthouse in the back, unimpeded by any of the trees. So, if you need that Instagram photo. Okay, so coming back to Roosevelt International Park, another stop off that you really want to do is Raccoon Beach. And it's kind of cool because you park up at the top up there. They do have some picnic tables and some facilities up there where, you know, you can come in, have some lunch, and then come down to the beach. It is all very, very rocky beach, although once you get towards the shore, you do have a little bit of a sandy bottom here. But it is really, really nice spot. Unfortunately, the fog rolled in, which kind of gives it, like I've always said with you guys, if you do get the fog, do not despair because it adds a different and new element to places like Maine or even this coastal Canadian area. It is absolutely just gorgeous, like hauntingly gorgeous. You don't have the blue sky and the sea, but I will say, you still get this just epic feeling, almost like in a movie. But yeah, Raccoon Beach is definitely one spot you want to come, just to get a little bit of a beach view. Dip your toes in the water if you want, just make sure to know it's really, really cold. You know, we're pretty far north. And yeah, the little picnic tables up there, of course, have a place for lunch. Alrighty, so outside of the Roosevelt House, the main point to really come when you go to Campobello is Liberty Point here. And of course, this is where you have Sugar Loaf Rock. It's just kind of like this majestic little outcropping rocks, and I believe you can actually access it down there during low tide, just like the lighthouse at Head Harbor Lighthouse. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful spot. I was up there a few years ago, and you get some great pictures of, you know, you have Grand Manon Island and just like the entire ocean. Again, it's foggy, so there's not much I can do about it. But it's actually, it looks kind of cool, just with like the mist around it and all that. You know, it's just kind of, there's some magic and spookiness. And of course, this is October, so it's the month of Halloween, so this is just perfect. But anyway, yeah, so this is Sugar Loaf Rock and Liberty Point. This is one of the major spots that you want to come to when you come to Campobello Island. I think it's second after the Roosevelt House when it comes to popularity. But anyway, yeah, Liberty Point. Okay, so that was our time in Campobello and Roosevelt International Park. It's not a really big island, in all honesty. You can kind of like cross it in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, really back and forth. And the park itself is not super huge. Just remember to watch yourself when you're driving on those roads, because once you hit the park itself, it's pretty much all gravel road. So you just got to be careful with that. But anyway, we're back here in Lubec. Right now, at the end of the season, there's really only a couple spots that are ever really open at any one point in time. 1 or 2 takeout spots, and then the actual sit-down restaurant is the inn at the wharf. I've actually been here a couple times. It's just a traditional kind of like diner style, but the seafood here is fantastic. And I've got the salmon with the baked potato coming. I cannot wait. All right, so I got my baked salmon, and I can tell you right now, it looks good. Fresh North Atlantic salmon. Can't get any better when you come up on this area, and it's just plain, just a little seasoned salt, pepper, but it just pulls apart really nicely. It just looks so good. Oh, very soft. Yeah, it's really, really good salmon. You know, you don't need too much with it. Maybe just sprinkle a little lemon if you want or whatnot. Add a little extra pepper if you want to do that. But really, really just good classic diner, seaside Maine food. So, but anyway, yeah, that's the inn at the wharf. Alright guys, so that is going to be the end of the video today. A little bit of a quicker one, but you know, there's not much going on this particular time of the season, but I just wanted to show you the easternmost part of the United States, and of course here in Maine, and of course Campobello Island as well. Whether it is packed to the gills with people and tourists and it's the height of summer and it's gorgeous out, or when you have kind of like an overcast, foggy fall day like this, it is still absolutely fantastic out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. This series has been a lot of fun to shoot in Maine this year. I know last year I really only focused on one part of Acadia. This year I was able to expand most of coastal Maine. Still a lot of things that I've missed, but I mean, there's so much to do up here, and I hope you guys ever get the chance to come up to coastal Maine, check it out, and have your own adventures. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button, and of course, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well, and I will see you guys in the next adventure as I leave Maine and head back down to Texas. So peace out, guys, and see you then.